On today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a pedal. But before we get into that pedal, I'd ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, click on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in this industry. And in this case, we're doing FFX Pedals again. We've had the Arc of Tone, the signature pedal of Jonathan from the Tone Lounge. Mm-hmm. We also did the Double Carbone, which we learned that double is double.
You just wanted to say that again.
And carbone is a ram. That's hence two rams. We did that. But we're just like, man, we're just missing something. There's a missing piece. What don't we have? Oh.
Wait, I'll turn the camera on. We didn't turn the camera on.
Boom. Well, now you know the shtick. Oh, that.
Yeah. It just popped up and now you
just blew it. Bad acting. We're going with it though. Oh, look, it's the missing piece. Yeah. Unscripted. Here we go. Missing piece, but swag again. Got another literal swag bag. There was some candy in here. I ate it. But so we were very happy to get this in. We're full disclosure, we're always a little intimidated by boosts because we're getting to where we're kind of doing boost stuff, but we're like, man, what do we do with the boost pedal?
Well, we've done a couple boost episodes.
We have.
You put them in front of a drive, after a drive, right. Clean boost, done.
Right.
Not so much here.
Right.
So we're gonna do something we don't typically do. Let's start right with a clip right now. So the interesting thing about this pedal is it is a boost, but I feel like it's more than a boost. It's kind of like you were missing a piece of something. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Not funny. Dad
I'm
joke.
gonna ride that bad joke all the way to the finish line.
So what's interesting, if you look at the pedal layout, you have four knobs, right? We have a pre, a post, a texture, and a high pass filter. I kind of want to start with something because I want to see if your ear picks up on it. I'm going to play a riff without the pedal on, then ask Pat to flick it on, and we'll go back and forth once or twice to just see if your ear picks up on what we're picking up on here. Here we go. Oh, tuner. That was what was different. I think I had the coil split when I did that clip.
Right.
Anyway, it's very, it almost sounds a little bit like a compressor.
Yes, it does.
So, how do you have a boost with four knobs? Four knobs on it, right? So you have the pre, I think well, why don't do you want to do your clip first, then we'll break down the knobs?
I'll do my clip.
Do Pat's clip and then break down the knobs.
Just hold this because it's always the prop. So you'll see my settings were slightly different than this, but we grabbed the guitar. He split the coils in that, but I'm like, what does a true S-style single coil sound like? So I grabbed the PRS Silver Sky. We're playing it through the Tyler, always through the Echo Tour. But man, when I heard that squish, because the texture does work a little bit like that, I'm like, oh, what would this sound like with a chorus? Because it just screamed maybe 80s rhythm to me, squishy, spanky. So this is what I played.
right, so before Pat's clip, I started talking about the controls. We wanted to get the clips out there, let you hear them. Now let's talk about the controls. You have 4, a pre and a post. I think these are kind of easy to understand. If you think about it, almost like on an amp, you have like a gain and a volume, right? So the pre is going to add a little more drive or whatever to it. I'm not sure that's the right word.
It might break up a little bit.
And your post is your volume.
Yeah.
And there's a lot there. Like, watch your preamp.
I don't want to tell him, but that's like a master volume amp. But go ahead.
Yeah, you could really slam your amp. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And he knows how much I hate master. But it's different when it's on a pedal.
There you go.
It's different when it's on a pedal. The other 2 knobs then, let's do the high pass first. The more you turn up the high pass, the more lows you're going to take out. You're letting the highs go through, but you're removing everything kind of below where the notch is. And then the texture, I think it might not be a bad idea just for me to grab his instructions here and say that he wrote for the texture, works hand in hand with the pre-control. Fully decrease it will result in either a raw gain structure, depending on the presetting. The more you increase it, the softer the structure will become. At the same time, you'll notice a slight compression, especially at the higher presettings, which we did.
Right.
Which we liked about it. Yeah. We thought it was really cool. So if you turn that texture all the way down, that's more of your kind of like traditional...
unaffected, pure tone.
Yeah, that's your boost.
Yes.
The texture now really makes this thing very unique. So let's do some things here. I'm going to turn the texture all the way off. I'm going to turn the high pass all the way off. As you would start to think about, like, how would I set up the pre and the post? I would probably, just trying to give some examples so you can wrap your head around the pedal, because it took us a while to kind of wrap our head around it. If I set the post at like 50% and the pre at 0, when Pat plays, you'll hear nothing. But then as I roll that pre up, you'll start to hear the boost, I guess. So let's do that. We used to be more coordinated at this. We haven't done it this way in a while.
Right.
So the other way to approach that would be to turn the post down, crank the preamp. I'm just gonna crank it the whole way.
You should.
And start bringing the post up, and you should be able to hear like you're hitting. Well, we'll just let you hear it.
All right.
So that's really pushing the front of the amp.
The Tyler was like, "Hey, what? What was going over here?"
Starting to break up a little bit. So you can get a really clean, keeping your pre back, pushing the post. I think you get like a really clean boost, like a really almost.
He's gonna say it. Go ahead.
Transparent.
Where's the light speed?
It's transparent. But yeah, I mean, it's a boost. Like it's not going to change your tone of your guitar or your rig. It's just going to boost it, I think. He has that. There's some pedals that won't do that. They always add some color. I feel this is pretty.
Right.
Just gives you a nice clean boost. If you want to push the preamp and bring the pre up on your pedal and bring the post up, you can kind of put some hair into the amp too. We didn't get post past halfway on that.
No, because it says be careful, and I see why. That was about as hard as you probably want to push the Tyler there.
Yeah, I don't think I want to hit
the
it.
low
hard.
end was getting a little flubby and.
So why don't low end's a little flubby? Why don't we now? This is probably more designed for people with high gain amps, but
yes.
Why don't we leave it there and show you what that high pass filter does just by leaving where it's at, and I'm just going to roll that thing the whole way around while Pat plays, and you'll understand.
All right.
Made more sense when we pulled the gain down a little bit.
Because that's what they mentioned in the owner's manual. If you're doing something that has the drive and you want to trim some of that flubbiness, that low end that you might not want. That we just first time we did that. It worked. Mm-hmm. When it got to the top, it got a little crispy, but not like ear darty crispy. But you could hear it, how it cleaned up, by not letting the lows through. Mm-hmm. It tightened it up by nature.
It's not just a treble knob.
Right. It's eliminating.
So yeah, it's taking that. So the last knob is the texture knob. And I think for us, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing for us to really kind of hear and understand that. And always remember, there's everywhere in between here.
Yes.
But I'm going to pump the pre up. I'm going to bring the post back a little bit. I don't know if we need to mess with the high pass filter just with single coils going in. Let's roll the texture knob and see if you can hear what that's doing as it rolls up. Do that chord pass again?
Yeah. Yeah, with that, you could bump the post up. So when you, maybe I could say this, the more you add to the texture, it squishes it, volume diminishes. You can also compensate by boosting that post up a little bit.
And I felt once you started getting that up high too, taking the high pass up and cutting some of the low end, made it sparkle a little bit more on top too. Almost like a compressor. I mean, there were sounds, like I don't have a compressor on my board. You do, but
I use the Mary Cries, which is not the squishy 80s.
Pretty subtle.
Yeah.
There's tones in there. I mean, immediately thought like some like single coil Strat funk kind of tones. I could see that. Like sometimes you switch from your humbucker guitar to your Strat to your single coil guitar. Having a boost pedal to get a little bit of boost there is nice, but then putting a little bit of that squishy on too for some of the funk stuff.
Yeah.
The other thing we can do is throw, how does it sound with some kind of drive pedal? So we have 2 clips of that. Pat, you want to do yours first?
Yeah, I stayed with the Silver Sky. Again, when we talk about introducing something new, we try to go with things we're pretty familiar with. So Silver Sky, familiar with, Tyler, the Echo Tour. And I grabbed the Tube Screamer. It's a battery operated. I don't know what brand or what current voltage it's at, but I put that there. But I put the MP in front of it to push a little harder and give it boost. But you'll see in the clip, I started with the drive on first, and then hit the boost as you would, even though it was in front. If that makes sense. But this is what I played.
I put the boost after the drive, sticking with home base Barboard Electronics version 4 direct drive. And this is the way I have a boost on my board. That's kind of, if I'm using it with a drive, it's going to be after just because of position.
You want more of what you already have.
Yes, I want more of what I already have. So in front of you're going to maybe get some more, you're going to push the pedal a little bit more. You would hear in your clip, it got a little more driven. Mine, it should just kind of boost what I already have. And I think I set that up. I think I took the texture completely out to go to like an old school boost to just bring things up. And so just some doodling with just the drive, some doodling with the drive and the boost. And I've talked about, we need to do like an episode on this sometime, why would you boost things to roll your volume back?
Because you can? I don't know.
So when you roll your volume back on your guitar, you can clean up. So this clip has the Barber Electronics direct drive being boosted by the missing piece, and then I roll my volume back with them both on and listen to how clean it gets. It's really impressive. Just real quick before I move forward, I almost forgot to mention that, just like Pat forgot to mention what chorus pedal he had on that.
The One Knob Wonder.
Right. Which is such an amazing little chorus pedal. We couldn't let it go by without it being mentioned. So here's the clip. So that is the MP boost from FFX Pedals. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts, as I mentioned, I always have to touch it when we're talking about it.
Never mind.
Yeah, I was.
Dear Lord.
Here we are. Our cumulative age is probably over 100 years old, but it does not keep us from being children. Because I say this so much. I don't use this. I don't use that. I don't use this. I don't really use a boost. So I'm always afraid of them because I don't know. Because sometimes you want more, right? Like you set up to get more. And a lot of times that more is an accurate recreation of what you want more of, and sometimes it's not. This was really great because you could get more, but from the moment we plugged it in, I think we approached this way different. Like it was just so interesting when we started turning the knobs and realized, because there's only 1 or 2 videos about this, and I realized that texture was like a compressor. I'm like, well, what does that actually sound like? And that changed the whole game for me for this pedal tonight, and the experience was wonderful because to be able to take that texture and then, the high pass filter, and the others are pretty self-explanatory. I thought it was really easy to get a good sound out of this. I'm not scared anymore. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, you came over tonight. We're like, well, what are we doing tonight? Well, I'm not really sure. Like, what do we have? We have this thing. Yeah, but there's not a lot of stuff out there about it yet. And I'm not sure I understand why you have a pre to post on a boost and texture. What's that about on a boost?
Right.
And then we plugged it in and we started turning knobs. And it was like, I don't hate that.
Turn the
I
cameras
like
on
that.
quick.
Yeah, I like that. Should we record that? It just, it really cascaded into like, this is really cool. So this is a really cool boost.
I think Frank in his literature said it's the missing piece that connects the player, the pedal, the guitars.
Yeah, and maybe a boost isn't even the right. It's the missing piece. Maybe saying it's just it isn't even the right thing to say.
Right. It's the missing piece. I think it's well designed, well named.
Yeah, I think it is too. I can use this real quick to boost into a gain, to boost out of a gain, to add some slight compression maybe. I love the idea of having that on the board as a clean boost with a little bit of squishing that up for some like really funky sounds with a single coil guitar. What a cool piece of kit.
Yeah, for sure.
We always take a minute to say thanks for watching. Thanks for hitting the subscribe button. Right now, we're within probably 70 subscribers of 5,000 as we're doing this video, which is really, really cool. Thanks to everybody that's done that. Anytime you hit subscribe, click notification bell, leave comments. That's what helps us make cool relationships like we did with FFX Pedals and bring cool stuff in to share with you. With that. Sorry.
PJ, it's okay. I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding everybody here, you never have too much gear. And you can keep going until you find the missing piece.